Going global.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Good start.
I'm happy to throw out if nobody else has anything. I have not yet run an EdCamp, but it's something that I want to do, and I'm actually talking with my superintendent in my new job about doing that for New Hampshire, because we've got a couple in the Seacoast and in Keene, where Dan started, for us, but I'm in the North Country, and so I'm trying to find a way to bring people. How political, and I mean that in a nice way, how political do you see your position? Because I could see benefit in reaching out to SETDA and some of those other state educational technology directors, because one of the drives for us is getting teachers to use this as professional development. And more, this is coming to be a reality where states are starting to recognize personalization of professional development the same way that they're advocating it for our learners. But if we can get an organization like SETDA to recognize that, that would be huge for us, because in my state, at least in the North Country, there needs to be a little bit of incentive for folks to travel to a place, because if they're already connected, they already drink the Kool-Aid. I'm trying to reach those who aren't drinking the Kool-Aid. Exactly. And so for me, that would be a huge benefit, would be if we could get those state folks to start saying, there's value in this, here's the demonstrated value, because we've done it over 700 some odd EdCamps, and here's what we want to bring to you.
That part of what I'm working on is the challenge.
Definitely, thank you.
Oops, sorry. Asking questions. The challenge is that when I have no data, and so one of my goals in the next year is to begin to collect some of that data, so that, because when a funder says to me, so how many teachers have been to EdCamp? And I go, well, last year there were 225, and they range in size from 20 to 500 in St. Louis. And so that math is okay. We've got 4,000 here, and we've got hundreds of thousands there. And they sort of go, could you narrow that down? And I'm like, that's one of the things I need to do, is begin to gather that. And hopefully the foundation is going to put together a CRM that will begin to
If you have questions, text them in.
Get data from different EdCamps to help me know, okay, this number of people registered, this number of people showed up, that there were X number of elementary, middle, high school. They'd been to, this was their first EdCamp, they'd been to 22 EdCamps, just begin to gather that. And then I'm also trying to come up with the ways that we can document the learning that happens. So that's one of the things that I'm hoping on our new website we might be able to come up with a way that teachers can share out and have that be validated in some way or other. Because I don't want to get into too much of giving out credits as part of what EdCamp does, but if there's a way to document that they went to X number of sessions, they wrote a blog post, they did, to have some of those ways standardized. So that's, yes, definitely trying to figure that out as incentive.
Would you maybe use Eventbrite as just a standard EdCamp registration hub and put those questions in, and then pull that data from the EdCamp organizer?
That's actually what I'm hoping to do on our website, is have a drop-down menu for by region or by state or by month. And so you could scroll down and say, okay, EdCamp Milwaukee. And that would take you to an EdCamp Milwaukee page, so that the new organizers, you wouldn't have to make your own site. It would be all there, but the registration for EdCamp Milwaukee would also funnel in, so then I could see it. And then organizers could go back and say, oh yes, well, we actually had 300 people register, 175 showed up. Here are the people who showed up, and then there's a record of that, so that we can begin to build that out.
EdCamp attendance would be a good one for that too.
Yeah, because then you could pull out, you could bring in your name, and it would pull out that you've been to